So hi, welcome to the Noise Podcast. I'm Shane.
I'm Glory.
And we're here with.
Spinch. I'm Christian, and we're from Left to Suffer.
And we have some questions to say about their new album, Feral. So congrats on that, by the way. How do you feel about the response to it so far?
The response so far has been incredible. Like, we've been seeing so many people, more new people coming in, streaming and sharing our stuff, as well as old fans that are just consistently sharing our stuff, and it's been awesome so far. Like, the response has been best that we've ever had for any release.
Oh yeah, the album is fucking incredible. It's crazy.
Yeah, this shit is crazy. I was listening to it at 9 a.m. It woke me up.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's great.
Oh, yeah, that's definitely a good album to go with your coffee or to replace your coffee.
Absolutely.
I'm glad you love it.
Oh yeah. So is there any meaning behind the album title or cover art?
Yeah, so when it was actually our manager that spearheaded the idea of naming the LP Feral, and basically the way he described it is we're with the growth of the band that we're hitting a point where it's these next few years could hopefully be very beneficial for us, and you see rapid explosive growth. And he described that these next few years to be a very feral time for us, where. And it's also after doing On Death and Dying Forever, we aspire to try to go for an album that's more in your face and just be heavier than previous releases.
Mm-hmm.
Similar to what we did back with Year Suffering back on our first LP in 2020.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right, makes sense. So can you tell us a little bit about your writing process for this album?
So for this album, Jacob, you go ahead.
Yeah, we actually took a whole different approach than we've ever done on anything else. So typically we'd, write songs on our own, kind of bring them together maybe, and then work it out, flesh it out, maybe jam it out in person and things like that. And for this one, we actually decided to just sequester 2 weeks aside where we just put everything on hold and got together and tried to write as much music as we could, the best quality music we could. And we actually took a week at my house, which is in the middle of nowhere, Georgia. And so there's no internet access that really can handle that many people at least. And we all just did our thing, made breakfast every morning, smoked down, had a good time, set the vibe right, and just wrote 11 or 12 songs and tried to make as many just catchy, groovy things as we could. And it was just very different because we've never sat down and taken that much time to really write that much music in such a short period of time. And then the following week, we went to where our drummer Alex was living and kind of hashed out and finished the writing there, as well as scrapped a song or two that weren't just really up to par.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Gotcha. So what song off this album took longest to write, and which one is each of your own personal favorite?
I'd say for me, my personal favorites. This is a tough question because I really do love this album a lot. My 3 personal favorites had to be Feral, Illusion of Sleep, and Consistent Suffering.
Uh-huh.
With I think Illusion of Sleep to me was the most interesting one because it was just sort of that was one of those songs that when we first started writing it, we did not take it seriously at all. In the sense of just let's just keep writing it, just make every part get a little crazier than the last part.
Mm-hmm.
And it was the complete when we got in the studio. So we're just well, let's just see where it goes. And then Matt Thomas, the producer, took over and chimed in his ideas into the song. And listening back to it, I'm wow, that's actually really cool how it turned out.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah, I guess for me on the 3 personal favorites from the record, I got to go with, man, I mean, Illusion of Sleep is right there on the precipice, but I think it's the chorus of Consistent Suffering for me. It just, and the fact that back in with that breakdown when you think it's about to be over.
Yeah.
And then Feral, I really love what Taylor did with that chorus. When what he originally wrote to it was good, but that's another one of those where he sat down with Matt Thomas and they got the lyrics, the cadence, and the melody all just really set into something different than what it was, and just I loved how much life it breathed into it, as well as Artificial Anatomy, because of that line, "I will see the fear in the eyes of my abuser." That line just, it got me. As soon as he said that in the studio, I was just
It's just an instinct.
I'll break some shit. Yep.
Yeah.
And the longest to write.
The longest to write. So, I guess here's a fun fact: Artificial Anatomy was actually written back in 2020.
Huh?
It was originally going to be a track on death, but we just didn't feel like it had exactly what we were looking for. It didn't really fit that emotion and that part of the grieving process that we were trying to fit it in.
Mm-hmm.
So just kind of shelved it.
Yeah, so we had that demo written, and then we tried bringing it back for Dying Forever, and it got scrapped out of that one too. I can't remember why, but it was like one of those demos where it's like, okay, maybe it won't work for this record, but it's still a really good demo, so let's revisit it later.
Mm-hmm.
We have a few songs even like that haven't been released yet that are still in that stockpile, but so yeah, for this time around, we worked on that song, and it's like, yep, this is the record we want to put this demo on.
Right.
And
the same was true for Recluse too. Recluse was one that we wrote in that "And Dying Forever" cycle, and we were just like, it's missing something, or doesn't fit with this, or so it's better to just save it.
Makes sense. So how'd the track list for the album come about? Did you guys write the opener for the opener, close the big closer? Did you shuffle around and see what fits? What was that process like?
We did kind of shuffle around some, but I remember on the first layout we had, I'm pretty sure Feral, like the title track, we were like, yeah, this is going to be a solid opener. The closer for the album, I think that was kind of discussed later in time. And, you kind of keep up with the same thing we did with on Dying Forever with Fatal Attraction, where we had like the widest, most majestic sounding song.
Mm-hmm.
It made sense to put Consistent Suffer in there. And I think it was a very solid choice of an album closer.
I agree.
Right.
Absolutely.
We actually,
crazy.
I am remembering now, Taylor was wanting to specifically get in and work on the intro first, because he was wanting to we got to set the mood and set something aggressive. He was kind of just mouthing this rhythm, and I was like, oh, that kind of reminds me of Jaws. And I was like, let's make a heavy metal Jaws. I'm so about that. It's it just makes you feel immediately like danger.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yeah. Awesome. So would you guys be able to tell us where your headspace is at while you're creating this record?
Yeah, we're more driven to try really give it 110% on this one. I knew after we did On Death was definitely an album where we definitely felt very confident in after writing it. Not as much for Dying Forever. So for this one, it was just all right, let's all put our heads down. Let's actually think about what we really want to do across from the first second of the album to the last one. And everybody just put all hands on deck just to let's make these the best songs we've ever written so far. And I think with that much drive and open-mindedness with not only with each other, but also with Matt's ideas too, I think that's what really helped create an album I think all of us feel most proud of. And I think as far as public perception goes, is what people vibe the most so far.
And I was trying to get in was just let's make the best music we can, the things that's going to really stand out. Every time we've put out an EP or something, I feel like there's definitely a standout moment or two, but we wanted every song to be a banger, to be an absolute standout thing that set outside. And I feel like it's almost noticeable by just how well the response has been. I mean, some of these lower responses are what are better responses from other tracks. So it's crazy seeing that, but we went into it with that, just give it everything. Christian was saying that 110, put everything on the line. You got to.
Hell yeah.
I just want to say hi. I'm getting ready to go to the studio, but I just wanted to pop in and say what's up.
Hi. Have fun at the studio.
Go cook some shit up.
Yeah.
Whip them into shape.
So how do you guys recommend your fans to listen to this album for the first time? Should I do it in the car with friends and talk with headphones on? Is workout album, party album? What do you personally recommend?
I would say, while all those examples you mentioned were all good ideas, I would say the best would be just wake up in the morning. Don't literally just put that on and go straight to the gym and just start pumping.
Oh yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I really like what you said, the idea of putting it on while lifting, honestly, because this record is just so aggressive and so angry and fast paced overall. I think it's actually a good workout. It's not overly long. I'll get you in there. But I think there is some value lyric. It might be deeper than you might expect on first listen. I know Taylor really tried really hard with these lyrics to make them stand out and mean a lot to him, but also working with Matt to make sure that they flowed well, made perfect sense, and that they really came from somewhere genuine and fit to the concept that they were trying to meet.
So this one should be super, super quick off top of your heads. I want you guys to describe this album for new listeners in 3 words. 3 words each, 6 total, no more, no less.
Oh, Lord.
Okay.
3 words isn't enough words. I use a lot of words.
Well, here's first one. This would be the obvious one. It's feral.
Uh-huh.
No.
Okay. I feel like that's a bit cheap. Yeah.
Yeah, that's cheating.
Man, that's actually a tough question because I can come up with
You know what? I'm just gonna go with alliteration. Visceral, viral, velociraptor.
There
Fuck
you go.
yeah.
there you go.
That's just awesome.
I can't top that off my head. I'll say aggressive, pummeling, intimidating.
There you go.
Perfect. Hell
job.
yeah. Beautiful.
So can you guys talk about any particularly challenging or standout moments from the creation of the album, positive or negative?
Okay. I don't think there was anything that was actually super challenging about the whole process in general. We took our time with everything. We had so much time allotted towards writing and recording that I feel like it was set up for success, but also just having Matt come in already gung-ho and ready to work on it, having listened to the demos and listened to where we were already trying to sit and have a vision in his head, as well as our buddy Mike Skinner being in there and helping set the vibe right and getting the studio ready and doing editing and doing runs for us like that. I mean, all those things made it really just a super easy, fun, cool process. I mean, we were literally just hanging out, smoking some pot, freaking burning some barbecue, and then playing some Naruto when we weren't recording. It was just a good time. We were playing Naruto Ninja Storm 4, me and Pete the majority of the time that we weren't writing.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I mean, particularly challenging, maybe to just set back, because this was one time that I definitely I felt like I had a lot of ideas. I felt like I had a lot of melodies or rhythms or whatever in my head that I was I gotta get these out, but it's not always just about me, and that's what it's about the band. It's about the overall. It's about what everybody vibes. And so sometimes I'll be like, oh, I want to do this lead. And Matt's like, well, let's do this lead. And I'm like, ego, stop,
Yeah.
But it led to something that I'm so in love with, that I don't regret anything that's put on that record anywhere.
That's awesome. Christian?
Yeah, it's I'm trying to think about challenges that we face, with the writing process and the recording process. And it, even though the more Spinch was explaining it too, there really wasn't anything that was particularly hard or challenging we went through. I think it was the main thing was more trying to like make this album better than our predecessors.
Right.
And having that just in mind, and it was the already like with the process that we came up with how we are all very integrated in the writing process, and like what Jacob said too, with like Matt being like ready to work, and also having the tools to also make the production side of things sound excellent. It was everything flowed pretty easily like once we got there.
That's good.
Hell yeah.
Oh,
Awesome.
Hardest part was probably honestly fitting Matt's barbecue into the back of the van, but that still went pretty well too. That was like, it fit pretty good.
And it was worth it at the end of the day.
Yeah, it was great.
So for this question, I want you to picture you're on tour. You're at a gas station for a rest stop. You're going in. What is your snack of choice?
It depends if this is pre or post show for me, like genuinely.
Okay. I usually say post show.
Yeah.
Post show.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I'm definitely going to be getting something sweet. Definitely.
Okay.
Got to. Like if it's like a Wawa or Sheets or something like that, 8 out of 10 times I'm probably getting a milkshake.
Hell yeah.
Nice.
It's a great post-show treat. Trying to think of this last tour, like while I was eating after a show, and like I feel like I ate so many Metrics bars on this tour, both pre-show, at the show, and post-show, that I'm just going to go with that answer.
Sounds good. All right. So for the last couple questions, going to shift completely away from music and go straight to death row.
Boom.
So if you're on death row, what would your last meal be with a drink?
Okay, I got mine.
All right.
Go ahead, then. Go ahead.
All right. Do authentic carne asada tacos, street style, with ruby grapefruit white claw.
Nice.
Hell yeah. That's beautiful.
Okay. All right. So I think I just love steak and potatoes so much. I just want my wife to cook me steak and potatoes one last time, like specifically her, and then give me a Pinot Noir with some poison so that, like, you know, the justice system doesn't get the satisfaction. Like someone else took me out, not them. Like I'm still dead, but like,
you know what? That's fair
crazy.
enough.
I love that answer.
Yeah, that's fucking awesome. So if you could live in one fictional world for a week, where would you live?
Oh, tough one.
See, like I feel like my mind goes to somewhere like the Dragon Ball universe or to like Naruto, but I'm like, I would just be like a farmer in Dragon Ball, though. Like I wouldn't be like a great Z warrior or nothing. Like, shit, man, that's an interesting one. You know what? Put me in the world of Spyro. Make me a dragon.
Nice.
Hell yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, that's a tough one for me. So I don't know, but I don't know why this answer popped up in my head. Living in the world of like the Grand Theft Auto 5 game.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. Sounds good. So I have the honor of asking the last question. Every single person that we've spoken to have said that it is the most important question. What's your favorite color?
Say red.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
It really is like a dependent on the day kind of thing, because green is probably one of my all-time favorites. Also, like, so many good colors, like a good chartreuse, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I also like monochrome, but I don't know. But yeah, I definitely like it. Just like a generic answer, green.
Green.
Yeah.
Hey, green is beautiful.
Yeah, we'll
It's not
take it.
generic at all.
Green is.
So as I said, that's all the questions we have today. Is there anything that you guys would like to plug?
Yeah, we just announced today that we are going on tour with our buddies in Distant, freaking Justice for the Damned, and Cabal. So we're going to have a North America co-headliner with Distant, and that's going to be a lot of fun. That just announced today.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm absolutely looking forward to that tour.
Tour is fucking stacked.
Mm-hmm.
Well, thank you for sounds, guys. Been Spinch and Christian from Left to Suffer, and we have been the Good Noise Podcast.